What's up, everybody? It's Joe from Empire Music, empiremusic.com in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We are one of 20 worldwide Martin custom expert dealers, which lets us bring you the coolest, best, newest, and freshest Martin stuff first. And today's a barn burner. I'm excited about the new for 2025 Standard Series is launched. They're calling it a refresh, but it's way more than that. Those humble guys at Martin undersold it, so I'm going to tell you all about it. Check out empiremusic.com. See our entire collection of Martin Custom Shop, Martin guitars, the new Standard Series, like this amazing 0028. Chat with us on the site, give us a call, we will get you hooked up. We'll not only find you a great Martin guitar, we'll make sure you get the right guitar for you, and most importantly, when you've selected a guitar, our techs will dial it in and give you the best playing experience on earth. They'll take you with the full pro setup included, making sure we're maximizing every guitar that we sell and send to you. So we're excited to do that. I'm excited today because this new for 2025 0028 is fire. It is unbelievable. Playing this guitar is a ton of fun. Martin says this is a refresh, but there's a total new interior construction, great feel changes, and some cool cosmetic stuff that we have to talk about. So let's talk about what's the same though, because we're going to keep the baseline. Solid spruce top, solid rosewood back and sides, obviously a 00 body shape, ebony fingerboard and bridge, mahogany neck, Grover vintage tuners. You can see that pretty rosewood, check that out. There's reflections all over the place, but I don't care. See that pretty rosewood? Martin has some of the most beautiful rosewood on earth. That's all the same. So what could they have done to be so exciting, Joe, you ask? Well, let's start with the big story. I won't bury the lead. The new bracing scheme is the golden era bracing package for the top. This is really a big deal. For those of you who are Martin geeks like myself, you've experienced golden era bracing package in the old golden era guitars that were in like the early 2000s, late 90s. Modern Deluxe have golden era. Custom Shop, golden era bracing everywhere. Really popular. It represents an ode to the most famous guitars that Martin's ever made from the late 30s and early 40s. And they're bringing you that vintage vibe here. So if you think about a standard brace, so if you're not familiar with any bracing at all, you want a quick tutorial, here it is. A standard brace is a piece of wood on the top, right, keeping it stable. The previous bracing package was standard, what they call, the scallop was a standard carve, so just a light carved brace. And by relieving some of that tension, by carving into it, you're allowing the top to flex more. You get more tone, more output, more bass, more warmth. Always a positive, right? Well, the golden era bracing package is a much more severely carved brace. The braces are cut much deeper, which is more complicated to do, gives you way more output, gives you more characters, of definitely a more mature sounding, we'll use the word vintage, but to me more mature. It sounds like the guitar is already aged in. Real fat sounding, you keep this sparkle in the top end, but you get more body, so you don't get that brittleness that you sometimes find, especially in a small guitar like this. And here, the bass response is really there and present and full, but it doesn't get flubby, and it doesn't sound like a little speaker trying to be bassy. Everyone's, we've all, well, if you're my age, you've been to a Radio Shack before and you bought a speaker and that bass would just kind of just sound like it was totally going to explode the speaker. It didn't sound good because it was too small, not enough quality. Well, here you have that bottom end that comes from a small guitar. It's very pronounced, very kind of profound even. In focus, defined, just an incredible upgrade. When you play this instrument, it screams tone. I will absolutely buy one of these. This is probably the guitar I'm as excited about as any of them, because this is a guitar I maybe would have steered away from, maybe a little too thin sounding before. Now you get all that character, killer songwriter guitar, fingerstyle guitar. This is it. So the golden era bracing, reason to buy this guitar, end of story. Now feel, they've gone to the authentic fingerboard thickness, which when you're talking about fingerboard thickness, something I, to be honest with you, haven't really thought much about outside of in our custom expert guitars. The authentics there, the 18s and 28s, all have that fingerboard thickness. It's a thinner fingerboard. So what you say, the big story here is when you had the previous fingerboard, the wall of the fingerboard was pretty long, and then when it meet the top of the fingerboard where you played, it would be like basically a 90-degree angle, so kind of sharp. By making it thinner, they allowed them to roll the edges. So now this is all contoured, rolled in. You notice it when your thumb wraps around, for sure. To me, you notice it most on the treble side because your hands are always underneath here. You get to the fingerboard faster. It feels real broken in. They took the fingerboard thickness that they took away, that mass, they added to the back of the neck. So now you have a very comfortable, consistent feel to the previous Standard Series. Just things are a little rearranged, which is cool. Next thing they did for feel is they took our heel and they give us a vintage heel. This is one of those things where it's like on a spec sheet, you go a vintage heel and you kind of roll your eyes, okay, whatever, what does that mean? And at first sight, you might not even notice it. I'll tell you what though, if you held the 2024 in your hands and then you held this one, and you put it in your hand, you moved your hand up the neck, you'd 1,000% notice it. Way more comfortable up here by reducing that slightly. It stays in line with vintage specs, and it gives us more access, which makes for a better playing experience, for sure. The bridge has taken all these corners, and they've called it the golden era modern belly bridge, and they've basically taken these edges, which you see very sharp 90-degree points, and rounded them out, giving us a more comfortable, smooth end there, which is, to me, phenomenal. Like you put your hand on there and you rest it on there if you're playing fingerstyle or you're palm muting. Now you're not getting all cut up down there. It's much more comfortable. All the standard series now come with bone or ebony bridge pins. The 28s all come with bone, so bonus upgrade there. Your nut used to be cut in line with the fingerboard. The true to vintage spec is it's cut in line with the headstock and the angle of the headstock. So it's now cut in line with the angle of the headstock. What does it do? It brings it more true to spec, and it gives us a different string angle break. So now we have a little bit more sustain, better sounding guitar. Who doesn't want that? Then just a cool cosmetic thing that I like a lot, the long diamond on the back of the headstock. It does nothing for us other than look awesome. So when you're staring at your guitar, you can longingly admire the long diamond as you strum away. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I like to do the dynamic range of the instrument. I like to play through the mids of the guitar to make sure they stay balanced. No plot twist here in terms of the mids of the guitar. It's a double O shape, it's small. The guitar sounds very nice through the mids. I want you to listen. Typically, I'm always just like, oh, tell me what you hear. Through that section of playing, I want you to hear the character of the tone. A small guitar like this, sometimes it's just like those notes are heard, but they don't say a lot. Here, you just get so much more warmth out of it, which is really great. The dynamic range is the story here, but maybe not for the reason you'd think. So let's go ahead and play through and see what you think. As I said, mids, phenomenal, really lively, tons of character, A+. The dynamic range, yes, it sounds louder and bigger than previous double O's, without a doubt. That's cool, because I will say, if you want something that sounds a little bit, you always like the shape you thought didn't have the output you needed, it gives you that extra boost for sure. What's really amazing about this guitar is when you play it lightly, which is how most of us can play it, light, medium, the guitar has so much more character to it. Way more overtones, way more body to the tone. The top end isn't this brittle, jangly, hot mess. It's like you want to play more of those treble notes because they're really, to me, full, even though that they're kind of that treble frequency where you're getting that cut that you need and you expect, but you have way more body. So to me, when you hear this guitar, it sounds like it's 50 years old. You know, it sounds like there's vintage recordings you pick through, and it gives you just this blossoming tone out of those treble notes that, to me, are very, very hard to receive. I mean, it's just hard to find guitars that do that. This one absolutely does. The new for 2025 refreshed 0028 right at empiremusic.com. You see our entire selection of Martin guitars there. No, again, our techs do full pro setups on everything we sell. Dial in and give you the best version of that guitar on earth. We'll make sure you don't only get a Martin guitar that's just a great guitar. We'll get you the right one for you. Make sure we're hitting all the things that you need to make you totally thrilled with your new instrument. Most importantly, you got to know that the 0028 has this that stayed the same. 00 body shape, obviously. Solid spruce top, solid rosewood back and sides, mahogany neck, ebony fingerboard and bridge, Grover vintage tuners, made in our home state of Pennsylvania. Don't forget that. But here's the big new stuff that needs your attention. The golden era top bracing, authentic fingerboard thickness, bone bridge pins, contoured bridge, rolled fingerboard edges, the nuts cut at an angle, and this killer diamond on the back to give you some style. Check all of our Martin guitars out at Empire. Reach out. These are all in stock right here at launch. We're bringing you the best versions of these guitars anywhere, we promise. Talk to us on the site or give us a call. See the photos of every single guitar we have in stock, no stock photos. I'm Joe from Empire Music, and this is the new for 2025 Martin 0028. Thanks for watching.